Headphones on, the whispers begin.
Last night I was preheating the oven to bake a lasagna when the lights in my apartment flickered and went out. The sudden hum of silence that followed was unsettling. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight, cursing under my breath. It had to be the circuit breaker. Living on the second floor of an older apartment building meant occasional issues like this. The breaker panel was in the basement, a place I avoided unless absolutely necessary. But I needed dinner, and it wasn't going to cook itself. I slipped on my shoes, pocketed my keys, and made my way downstairs. The stairwell was dimly lit by emergency lights, casting long shadows that seemed to flicker as I descended. I tried to brush off the prickling sensation on the back of my neck. Just nerves. The basement door creaked loudly when I pushed it open, and the stale, earthy smell of the basement hit me. The breaker panel was on the far wall. As I reset the tripped switch, I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. I shined my flashlight around, seeing nothing but the boiler, some old furniture, and a few forgotten boxes. Yet, the sensation persisted, like eyes on my back. I hurried back upstairs, convincing myself it was just my imagination running wild. When I returned to my apartment, the lights were back on. My cat, Milo, was waiting for me in the entrance room, sitting on his haunches like a miniature guardian. I gave him a scratch behind the ears, relieved to be back in my safe space. The oven beeped, signaling it was ready, so I opened the door and slid in the lasagna. That's when I noticed Milo wasn't following me into the kitchen as usual. Instead, he sat just outside the doorway, staring intently at me, or so I thought. But when I glanced at him more closely, I realized he wasn't looking at me at all. His wide, unblinking eyes were fixed on the ceiling above me. "Milo?" I called, trying to keep my voice steady. He didn't respond, didn't even flinch. His gaze followed something, slowly, across the ceiling. I swallowed hard, turning to look up. The ceiling was bare, just the familiar beige paint and a faint water stain from the unit above. I tried to brush it off. Cats are weird. They see things we don't. Maybe a shadow from a passing car outside, I told myself. Still, Milo's agitation grew. His tail flicked sharply, and his ears twitched. He made a low, guttural sound in his throat, a sound I'd never heard from him before, a growl. My chest tightened. "What's wrong, bud?" I asked, taking a hesitant step toward him. He snapped his head to look at me, his pupils fully dilated. For a moment, his face almost seemed alien, like he wasn't my Milo at all. Then he turned back to the ceiling and let out a sharp hiss. I froze. The air in the room felt heavier, pressing against my skin. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. Milo tracked something invisible to me, his gaze moving toward the front door. His growling stopped, replaced by that odd chattering sound cats make when they're hunting. He crept forward, step by step, until he was right by the door, sniffing along the bottom seam. "Milo," I whispered, but my voice barely came out. I moved to join him, my legs trembling. I bent down, peering under the door into the hallway outside. The gap was too small to see much, just a sliver of the empty corridor beyond. Nothing. I straightened, shaking my head. "You're freaking me out, dude," I muttered, trying to laugh, but it sounded hollow. Milo sat down again, staring at the door now, as though waiting for something. Then, the knocking started. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. Not from the hallway side of the door, but from inside my apartment. I stumbled back, my breath catching in my throat. Milo yowled, bolting under the couch. My eyes darted to the kitchen, where the oven's timer was still counting down. The faint smell of garlic and cheese filled the air, grounding me in the absurdity of the situation. But the knock came again, this time from the ceiling, directly above me. I wanted to run, to scream, but I couldn't move. My phone buzzed in my pocket, snapping me out of my paralysis. I grabbed it, fumbling to answer the call. It was my neighbor Anna from upstairs. "Hey," she said, her voice shaky. "Sorry to bother you, but is someone in your apartment? I thought I heard someone walking around earlier, but now I'm hearing it above me." Above her? I'm on the top floor. The call cut out. The lights flickered again. And then from the kitchen, I heard the oven door slam shut.